Okay, welcome back. We're here on Math Chapter 6, Lesson 1, Powers and Exponents. Okay, our standard is expressions and equations. Write and evaluate numerical expressions involving whole number exponents. And our number sense standard, we're going to fluently add, subtract, multiply, and divide multi-digit decimals using the standard algorithm for each operation. So, can you add, subtract, multiply, and divide? I'm asking you not to use a calculator on this lesson to review your skills. How is it helpful to write numbers in different ways? That's our essential question. What will we learn today? To write products as powers, to write powers as products. Here we go, our learning intention. Go to all previous lessons and, oh, that's not it. Here's our vocabulary. The base, we talked about this yesterday. The base is the number being multiplied over and over again. The exponent tells you how many times to multiply the base times itself. Powers, to the second power, to the third power. So that again tells you how many times to multiply the base times itself. And we're going to talk about what is a perfect square. Okay, number one, how do I write 6 times 6 times 6 times 6 using an exponent? Well, I need to know which digit is the base. So 6 is the base, and how many times should I use it as a factor? 4 times. So instead of writing 6 times 6 times 6 times 6, I can just write 6 to the 4th. And the reader knows that I mean 6 times 6 times 6 times 6. Okay? 6 is used as a factor 4 times. 6 is the base, 4 is the exponent. Write 8 times 8 times 8 times 8 times 8 using an exponent on your scratch paper or on your whiteboards. Go. What is 8 times 8 times 8 times 8 times 8 written using an exponent? And the answer is 8 to the 5th. 8 is the base. 8 is the factor that's being repeated. How many times do I repeat it? 5 times. Write 4 times 4 times 4 using an exponent. Go. And the factor 4 is the base. The factor is multiplied 3 times. The exponent is 3. So 4 times 4 times 4 can be written as 4 to the 3rd power. Write 7 times 7 times 7 using exponents. Go. And the answer is 7 to the 3rd power. 7 is the base. How many times did we use it as a factor? 3 times. Number 3, write 5 to the 2nd power, sometimes read as 5 squared, as a product of the same factor. Then find the value. So now they want you to undo it. It says 5 to the squared, and they want you to say, well, what does 5 squared mean? So the base is 5, the exponent is 2, so 5 is used as a factor 2 times. A factor times a factor equals a product. 5 to the 2nd power is equal to 5 times 5. Common error alert. Don't do 5 times 2. Write 5 to the 2nd as a product. So to write 5 squared as a product, I'm going to write 25. And I'll give you a hint about the vocabulary. 25 is a perfect square. 5 times itself. Write 3 to the 5th as a product of the same factor. Then find the value. Go. I know I'm going a little fast for you. If you didn't finish, that's okay. But 3 is the base. It says to use it as a factor 5 times. So you should have written, let me get this over there and it'll show up. Three times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. So 5 factors. 3 is the factor every time. And if you do 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, you get 243. Okay, so to write 3 to the 5th power as a product, then I need to show a multiplication expression, and then it says find the value. That means do the math. Okay, write 1 5/10 to the 3rd power as a product of the same factor. Then find the value. So the base is 1 5/10. It tells us to use that as a factor 3 times. The exponent is 3, so 1 5/10 will be used as a factor 3 times. 1 5/10 to the 3rd power equals 1 5/10 times 1 5/10 times 1 5/10, which equals 3 375 thousandths. So let's look. Look, this factor has 1 decimal point, this factor has 1, and this factor has 1. So altogether, that was 3 decimal points. Now let's look at our product. 1, 2, 3. And it jumps back in 3 places. So remember to count every single decimal place. Okay, so there's 1 there, 1 there, and 1 there, 3 altogether. So after I do my multiplication, I jump that decimal point back in 3 jumps. Okay, write 2 4/10 to the 3rd power as a product of the same factor, then find the value. So I'm not going to give you time to do it right now. 2 to the 4th, you should be able to visualize. 2 to the 4th times 2 to the 4th times 2 to the, I'm sorry, I'm reading that totally wrong. 2 4/10 times 2 4/10 times 2 4/10. Okay, so that's writing 2 4/10 to the 3rd power as a product. That's what this is. Okay, then find the value. So without using a calculator, because you're going to exercise these skills, you're going to multiply this times this times this. And again, look, 1 decimal point here, a 2nd one, and a 3rd one. In my answer, I jump over 3 spots and put my decimal point there. Okay, write 1/2 to the 3rd power as a product of the same factor. So the base is 1/2. That will be our factor. Oh, Daniel's here. Let's see if he sticks around. What time is it? 11:17. Daniel shows up at 11:17. Right, 1/2 to the 3rd power. Hi, Daniel. We're doing our math. Okay, so just follow the slideshow. I can help you with it later. Okay, so 1/2 is the factor. We're going to use it 3 times. 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2. And if we do the math, we get 1/8. Because 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. Okay, write 1/4 to the 2nd power as a product of the same factor, then find the value. Go. Write it on a piece of scratch paper. Now find the value. Okay, you should have done 1/4 times 1/4. 1 times 1 is 1. 4 times 4 is 16. The product is 1/16. Each of these are factors. A factor times a factor equals a product. Okay, the zoo has an aquarium that holds around 7 to the 4th power gallons of water. About how many gallons of water does the aquarium hold? Okay, I need to figure out what 7 to the 4th is. So I do 7 is the base. I use it as a factor 4 times. 7 times 7 times 7 times 7. And to figure that out, it's 2,401 gallons. So the aquarium holds about 2,401 gallons of water. Giant squids live more than 12 to the third power feet below sea level. How far below sea level does a giant squid live? So you could probably do 12 to the second power mental math. So anybody, what's 12 times 12?
144.
Okay, so now do 144 times 12. Go.
4,428.
Double check. I gotta do it again.
Hold on.
144 times 12.
I got something different.
I got 1,728.
Messed up.
Okay, I agree with Callista. I got 1,728. I know I didn't give you some of you time to finish, but here we go. How did what you learned today help you answer the essential question? How is it helpful to write numbers in different ways? For example, multiplication problems with many repeated factors can be written using exponents. Powers can be used to simplify larger numbers. Here's your ticket out the door. What is the value of 11 to the fourth power? 11 to the fourth power, write that down on your scratch paper, work on the answer, then go to the whiteboards and put your answer in the box. I'll put it on the top. Okay, go, work on your ticket out the door.